Exercise 320 Part 2 asks us to do the adjusting entries at the end of the year. So we're going to have to look for some different information. We'll start with the 4 items below the problem. It says employees are owed an additional $4,000 in salaries. So we're accruing this for next year. We're recognizing the salary expense this year, $4,000 debit salary expense, and we'll pay them next year. That's a credit to salaries payable. Next, we're told that by year end, 3 months of rental space has expired. So we originally had this with our prepaid rent. For a prepaid rent and rent. When we originally purchased our prepaid rent, we debited prepaid rent for $12,000 and credited cash. Now we're saying we've used up $3,000 of that. $12,000 was for 12 months, $1,000 a month. Credit prepaid rent, credit prepaid rent, debit rent expense, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Debit rent expense $3,000, credit prepaid rent $3,000. So the prepaid rent went down $3,000, the rent expense went up. Now, supply expense, we have to go through and take a look at what our supplies were. We have to look at our supply account. And our supply account, if you remember, we had a beginning supplies of $8,000. And during the year, we bought $22,000. And at the end of the year, they tell us that we have $5,000 left. So that's what we have left. So altogether, we had 22 and 8. We had 30. We have 5 left. They're asking us for this. So what number subtracted from 30 gives us 5? 25. Debit supply expense, $25,000. Credit supplies on hand, the asset, $25,000. Then it tells us we earned all of the deferred revenue from the beginning of the year. So we have to take a look at the beginning of the year. We had $5,000 in deferred revenue, also known as unearned revenue. Throughout the year, we earned that. So we have to move it from unearned to revenue, and we do that by debiting unearned revenue and crediting revenue. And that's what it will do. We will debit unearned revenue for $5,000 and credit revenue for $5,000. These are the year-end adjusting entries that are required based on this information.